up, YouTube? Love it. I don't even want to turn it down. I'd like to just keep jamming it. Welcome, vinyl community. Welcome, YouTube, to the cosmic realm. You made it. You are here. You know who I am, right? I'm Cosmic Brian. All right, let's get on with this. You guys familiar with the little segment I like to do on my channel called Finds? Wait for it, one more time. Finds. You know, everything in the cosmic realm is far out. It's groovy, you know what I'm saying? Well, anyway, welcome cats, welcome groovy gals. I'm glad you guys are here. Let's, got some good tunes playing. Gotta merge the litter back there in the background. Got my notations here. And I got, well, the thing that counts, the vinyl. The great, great music on vinyl right here, folks. This one's brought to you by a special brew I like to call Michelob Amber Bock. Another nectar of the gods. Here's a big chug to all you crazy cats out there.
Oh yes,
Take it
yes,
out. Go ahead.
good friend.
Grab your nearest beverage and just hit it. Or whatever else you got. Oh boy, sure. Why is everything purple? Oh, that's good. All right, you guys ready? All right. First one, West Coast pop art experimental band. Okay, probably one of the longest names for a band in the history of rock and roll. But check out this great cover, the orange. I just love the cover. It's very psychedelic. It's got. If you can see, it's got the picture of the band there. Whoa, whoa! Pump the brakes. I forgot to take off the old mind shields. Let's get these suckers off because I cannot see without my regular glass. All right, here we go. Although they are fabulous, right? I mean, the yellow rim aviators. Killing it. All right, here we go. What's going on here? How did Mr. Magoo get here in the cosmic realm? I can't see jack shit in here. Somebody put... what's this? Oh, hey, I'm back. All right, West Coast pop art experimental band. Let's get right back in it. American psych band from Los Angeles. Was formed in 1965, the year that Cosmic Brian was born. Real good year. This is part one. Even though this isn't technically the first album, they had another album before this, but I think they just wanted to start over, and this was kind of redux for them. So, yeah, but they were known for their incredible live light show. They had, you know, all the crazy lights behind them like Pink Floyd did back in the day. And a lot of what they were doing on the East Coast with the Velvet Underground and Andy Warhol's crew out that way. But yeah, initially they were a band called The Laughing Wind. The Laughing Wind. Anyway, here's the story. A playboy by the name of Bob Markley, who was adopted into money, some oil tycoon money, I believe, had this huge, okay, he'd done some acting, you know, a little bit of acting, he'd also had some songs recorded, and he decided that he was going to have this huge party, right? So he invites all these A&R guys. And then Kim Fowley was there. He had Al Cooper, and he also had the Yardbirds perform at the party. I mean, this was one big party, if you know what I'm saying. And there was also members of the band The Laughing Wind there. So this Markley guy, right, he sees how the girls are reacting and the crowd is reacting to the Yardbirds, and
that they're just adoring them. And I think his motivation was that he wanted that adoration, and he wanted those young girls too, if I'm not mistaken. So he comes to the guys in the Laughing Wind with the proposal. He would bankroll like recording and band equipment and whatever else they needed, and in exchange he would be made part of the band and be their manager. Now granted, this cat's like 30 years old. These guys are barely in their 20s, so it was going to be rough right from the start, right? So he envisioned this West Coast pop art experimental band to be the West Coast version of the East Coast, the Velvet Underground and Andy Warhol. He fancied himself to be on equal with Andy Warhol, so he got him signed to Reprise Records, and they recorded this record. They played all these LA hippie clubs with the likes of Iron Butterfly, Yardbirds, Mothers of Invention. They even on this album, they cover the Mothers of Invention, I'm a Rock, which is just an entertaining, trippy, psychedelic song in itself. It's absolutely killer. But anyway, this is so good. Released in 1969, lots of fuzz, lots of trippiness. This contains probably one of the greatest psychedelic songs from that era, called Shifting Sands. I absolutely love that song. And 1906, another absolutely, it's like a bummer trip is what 1906 is. And some stuff is like very Birds-esque, like the side 2 opener, Transparent Day. It's got a lot of really great vocal harmonies. And I mean, this is a really good album. It's just, these guys just were not catching on. I don't know if they maybe were just ahead of their time or what, but they weren't releasing the hit singles, and they weren't going for that kind of vibe. But this is absolutely, I mean, I put this on, just lay back, have a little smoke, and I am in it to win it. This is so good. This is essential for any pop guy out there. No, this is essential for any psych head out there. So, and I mean, you psych heads out there already know. This is nothing new that I'm telling you here. So, but for any of you guys out there that maybe haven't delved into the psychedelic music yet, this is for you cats then. So, anyway, West Coast Pop Art Experiment. I'm going to give this a 4 peace signs out of 5. Bing, 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 bing. 4 peace signs granted by the Cosmic One. How about another swill? Oh, also, I watched a kind of a cool review of the West Coast Pop Art Experiment band by a channel on YouTube. It's relatively new. It doesn't have a lot of subscribers, called Dissecting the Disco. So roll over and check out that channel. Next on the agenda is this absolutely another essential by July. Now this is a psych rock band from Ealing, London, in England, active from 1968 through 1969. It's a blend of psych rock, psych pop, marked with lush harmonies, acoustic guitars, keyboards, and some really intricate and really killer guitar work. Lots of fuzz and distortion. You cats, you psych heads out there really dig, and maybe some that don't, but you could dig it if you wanted to. But this has some great songs. Everybody knows about the great psych song on this called Dandelion Seeds, but I actually enjoy a couple other songs almost as well, if not better. One of them being the opening track on side 1 called My Clown, and I really dig that. Also, there's a song on here called I think it's Move On Sweet Flower that is really good too. Also, another single that was released off of this is called The Way. Here's the back. You get a kind of an idea what the band looks like. This is, some of it's like almost Beatlesque, mostly like influenced by like Sgt. Pepper's, which I think everybody back then kind of wanted to be the Beatles. You know, pre-psych era Beatles, everybody wanted to be the Beatles, and even when they went down their psychedelic road, everybody wanted to be like them as well. So they both started out, the Beatles and July both started out as these like late 50s skiffle bands. So there's that in common. Their family tree is also linked to another psych band from back in the 60s called Nirvana. Don't get Nirvana. Nirvana. Don't get, not to be confused with Smells Like Teen Spirit, Nirvana. Anyway, this album was released on Major Minor Records, which was produced by Spencer Davis. So a little bit, some more credentials there. But this failed to put even a dent in the singles chart. And then they released some more singles. Nothing. This album was actually pretty much reviled when it came out. One reviewer called it the worst album I ever heard. A complete waste of plastic. What the fuck? Are you serious? Did it take people this long to catch up to this? This is so good. This is a great work of art. Like I said with the West Coast pop art, it must have just been too far ahead of its time, because now this is like one of the most sought after psych albums that's out there. Like I said, great melodies, trippy effects, Eastern vibe, a kind of a Beatles vibe. Now, and unlike the Rolling Stones, Her Satanic Majesty's Request, which was just a wash in production, these guys had to let their, pretty much let their instruments stand on their own. So I commend these cats, man, and I feel awful that they, were just, I bet they felt like shit when they came out with such a great record, and it was just got their dicks kicked into the dirt. That sucks. But so I guess it must have been kind of cutting edge for its time back then, as is probably a lot of these like psych bands that we go after now. So next one is a band that was quite successful, and that's the Soft Machine. This is their debut record. They're an English rock band from Canterbury, formed in 1966. Now this is obviously a reissue. It doesn't have all the working mechanisms, but this is so great. One of the first British musical acts from the Canterbury scene, very underground. Later moving on into more prog rock, jazz rock, named after a novel called Soft Machine by William S. Burroughs. So here's the back there. I'll give you guys a look at that. In 1968, they supported Jimi Hendrix on his North American tour. They also shared the same management team. This band is considered one of the main influences of the prog and jazz rock fusion genre as we know it today. So, but check these guys out. This is organist Michael Ratledge, and now these guys here, these two cats. Look at that guy. He looks stoned as hell right there. But anyway, these guys were smart. These guys went to college. They had degrees in like psychology and philosophy. These guys weren't dummies. And then you got Stony guy that plays the drums here. That's Robert Wyatt. And then you got lead guitarist Kevin Ayers, who went on to do like Joy of a Toy and some other things. I remember first hearing Soft Machine being talked about in the vinyl community by Dallas Pez. Do you guys remember Dallas Pez? God, he had a great channel. And what an amazing collection Dallas had as well. But anyway, yeah, lead guitarist Kevin Ayers, he actually dropped out of school, so, but you know, I think he did pretty well for himself, don't you? Anyway, oh, there's a little bare butt there. I didn't notice I was showing that. Oh, there's some more on the back there. Check out this beautiful orange vinyl. Absolutely, it's transparent, but I just dig it. That is amazing. I'm sold now on the orange vinyl for some reason. But yeah, great stuff. I'm gonna give that four peace signs on the bling 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 bling. 4 peace signs on the scale of 1 to 5 peace signs. I loved it. I loved that Soft Machine record. Love it. How about this? This is another one that everybody that's a psych head knows about. Is this Auto Salvage. They're like a psych blues rock avant-garde band out of New York. We're going East Coast now. We went from West Coast. Now we're on the East Coast. This is summer of 1966. This started out with this cat named Thomas Danaher. I'm like Steve Carlson. I can't get these names right at all. Here, I'm gonna flip that record. Yeah, they started by Thomas Danaher, who was a folk and bluegrass freak. He inherited a bunch of musical equipment from this music instrument business that went out of business. And so he put a band together, and they shared practice space with the Lovin' Spoonful. In fact, one of the cats in this band, his name is Skip Boone. He was brothers of a guy in the Loving Spoonful. What was his name? Boone. Steve Boone, maybe? Anyway, they got a job opening for the Mothers of Invention at this club called the Balloon Farm. What a cool name for a club, right? I mean, that just sounds psychedelic too, right? They changed their name to Auto Salvage, which was basically named after a song that they had on in their repertoire that they used to play live, and it was this long ass jam. But yeah, Frank Zappa of the Mothers recommended they change their name to Auto Salvage, and when Frank Zappa recommends you change your name to something, I think he knows. Frank Zappa was a smart mother. You know what? Mother of invention. That's what I meant to say. The producer basically they got the studio. The producer basically gave them free reign of because they didn't know how to handle. They were such a loud band, and these guys just cut it up, went right to work. This was released in March of 1968, and guess what? Crickets. Nothing happened. Nobody noticed it. No blip on the map, kind of like our friends in July there. You know, in their year and a half that they were together, they did like only 30 gigs. I mean, these guys just did not hit for some reason. And they figured out that maybe it was they were on the wrong coast. They were on the East Coast. Everything was happening out west in LA, in San Francisco. You know, all that. They had a great psych scene out there, and the hippie clubs were packed with, you know, and the bands were doing amazing out there. So one of their members, Rick Turner, he packs his bags and he goes out west to scout it out, right? And when he gets there, he realizes, hell yeah, this is exactly what's going on. These guys are killing it out here. We need to get out here. So he rushes back to New York, and he tells his band, hey, man, this is where it's happening, man. We need to go out there. And guess what? They said, nope, we don't want to go to L.A. Man, we got our own thing going on here in NYC. And you know what? They never moved out there. Within another year, they were gone. They just basically, they were the band that disappeared. So, yeah, too bad. I mean, because this is really good. I mean, I dig this. But this is, you know, it's got some folk psych, blues, some strings, great vocal harmonies. It's got your distortion and your fuzz that we all dig. You know, the vocalist, he kind of reminds me of Wayne Coyne, the vocalist for the Flaming Lips, for some reason. These guys look funky too. I mean, check them out. You know, if you listen to this, you can't really, or to these guys' music, you can't really be a passive listener. You got to kind of pay attention, man, because you'll miss it. You really will. I mean, it's that, like, I mean, they really hit on something that nobody was getting at the time. So, but yeah, you can kind of just get lost in this if you want, man. It's friggin' awesome. It's ramshackle genius, if you will. But anyway, check out Auto Salvage. I'm going to give it, even though I'm only giving it 3 stars just because of the fact that, you know, they were kind of the masters of their own demise. And not everybody might get that record. So I get it, but I'm going to give it 3 stars. And now moving on to the last record in my haul here. This is something that I've been wanting, an album I've been wanting for so long. This is Can, Tago Mago. I mean, this is like a psych rock, it's funk, it's noise rock, experimental rock. I mean, any of you guys out there that know Can, these guys they were out there, right? They were a German experimental band. I don't like to use the krautrock because apparently nobody else likes to use the word krautrock either. I don't even know what krautrock means. Kraut to me is something you eat on your bratwurst, so what do you think of that? Anyway, they were formed in Cologne in 1968. They basically were a core of a quartet, and I have to look at my notes for this because these names are hard to explain. So Holger Zuke on bass and tape edit, Ermin Schmidt on keyboard, Michael Caroli on guitar, and Jackie Liebezeit on drums. And their original vocalist was Malcolm Mooney. Now this cat had some kind of mental breakdown from my research. He had a mental breakdown on stage where he got to the point where he just kept saying upstairs, downstairs over and over and over. They finally just had to like take him off the stage. I mean, you know, these cats were out there, and then when you listen to this, you think, upstairs, downstairs, that doesn't sound so wild, but I guess they couldn't get him to stop. So, and then he went to his psychologist, and his psychologist told him, you know what, being in this band is really being detrimental to your mental health. So, out goes Malcolm Mooney, in comes Damo Suzuki. So this was Tago Mago's first record with Suzuki on vocals, second studio record. I think I showed not long ago Monster Movie, which is a killer record as well. Yeah, this is avant-garde noise, jazz, experimental rock, uses a lot of electrical tape editing and stuff. They discovered something that was quite unique that I can't even explain, hardly describe this because it's so out there, but it's progressive. Yeah, this is one of Can's most extreme and also one of their best albums in my opinion. Recorded in a castle near Cologne called Schloss Norvenich. Okay. But yeah, this is so good. I got to tell you a little story about how I came to know Can and how I came to know this album, Tago Mago, and specifically how I came to know a song called Among. It basically takes up all of side 3. But I had been at work all day, and then I went to work at my night job. I'd been there all night. I came home, I drove home, it was dark and it was quiet outside. I sat in my car and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna start a psych music playlist on my phone, and I plugged into my car, and I'm sitting there and I thought I'd smoke a bowl, and I was tuned up, and next thing, I mean, on this playlist were songs like The Electric Prunes, Mind Flower by Ultimate Spinach, Shifting Sands by the West Coast Pop Art, and there was a Mirror song called War Painting, and then there was Among. And I shit you not, I was scared. As I was listening to the song Among, I mean, I thought I had been transported to like another level of hell. I mean, I even turned my headlights back on to see, just to make sure that I hadn't actually been taken somewhere else, because it was so trippy. I'm telling you, listen, if you're gonna smoke and listen to records, especially this one, I'm telling you, I'm warning you, be prepared to be taken to another dimension. I'm gonna leave it at that. This is gonna get a 4.5 stars, 4.5 peace signs in my book. It's killer. It'll blow your mind and take you to another realm. Anyway, that's my video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it wasn't too long. They all are. So one more toast to the vinyl community. One more toast to positive vibes in the vinyl community. Dig your own thing, man. I mean, talk about records and music. What are we talking about other shit for? Peace, love, and stay cosmic. Check you later.